And then once 3ds Max is open, we are going to expand the perspective view by clicking in this view and then pressing Alt-W on the keyboard. The next thing we are going to do is to make sure that the units that we're working with within 3ds Max are meters. To do this, we're just going to go to the unit setup, and we can see here we've got meters and then meters again. So we're just going to exit, and then we're going to go to import in the drop down and then import again, and then we're going to navigate and find our DWG file and press open, and then it'll come up with an options menu. We're going to tick rescale and select meters as our incoming units. The DXF should already be in meters, as this is the unit type that both Orion and QGIS use for their geometry files. Then we are going to make sure that our derived primitives are set to layer, and then we're going to tick this UCS box as we are wanting to use the UCS that we created. And then most of the other options should be pretty stock standard, so we're just going to press OK to open this import. This notification box is just to let us know that as the file is quite large, we may experience some lag in the rendering accuracy. So we're just going to press continue anyway. And again. And then wait for the CAD file to import. Once the CAD file is loaded, we are going to select the contours and then go to the Modify tab. And then we're going to select Spline from the selection options. And this will select all the splines within the contours. And then we're going to go back to the Create tab, and in the geometry, we're going to choose from the drop-down menu Compound Objects. And then we're going to select Terrain. And there we have our terrain. As you can see, the clarity of this terrain is a bit interesting. This may be due to a number of reasons, including that the DXF file origin is located too far from the 3ds Max origin grid, in which case you need to create a new UCS for the DXF file. However, we've done this. The second reason is that the contour area we are trying to create for the terrain is far too large of an area for 3ds Max to handle, in which case I suggest you divide the DXF contours into smaller sections and then import the DXF and create a terrain section by section and then attach them together afterwards. And the third reason is that the shape of your contour boundary is too complex for 3ds Max to handle, in which case I suggest you create a basic geometry boundary box and trim your contours to fit within the shape. However, once again, we have done this. So now I'm just going to see whether I can adjust the parameters in order to improve this clarity after creating the terrain. The first thing I suggest you do is to change it from a graded surface to a graded solid. This has fixed it up a bit. And then I suggest that we try simplifying the terrain a bit. We do not want to multiply the contours in any way. This will completely challenge and possibly fail 3ds Max. However, we can look at dividing the contours that we're going to use. So we are just going to simplify them to every half contour line. And then possibly try every quarter. That seems to have fixed it. So now instead of every 5 meters, we've got about every 20 meters, and this is simply due to the size of the DXF. A better way if you want to get more accurate fine grain terrain is to, as I said before, divide the DXF, import it, and then create a terrain in 2 halves or more. However, for now, we're just going to use the terrain that we've created here today, and I might just, for the future tutorials, fix this up off camera. So from here, we are going to go to the Modify tab and add a modifier for shell. And then we're going to scroll down and select Inner Faces. And then we're going to add another modifier for Edit Poly. And then we're going to select the polygon option. And then making sure that the Move command is in action, we are going to click and drag on the Z axis. Now, this hasn't worked, as you can see, and that is because we have got this as a graded solid and we are wanting to change this. So to do this, we're going to go back, undo the Edit Poly and the shell, and we are going to adjust the terrain so it's a graded surface. So now it's just a flat plane, and then we're going to add both of those modifiers again. Select polygon, and we're going to click and drag. And there we go, we have a base for our topography to give some thickness, which would help if you want to create a physical model from this base model. Another way of creating a more accurate thickness to this topography is to right click on the move and open up the transform, and then you can give it a thickness of, let's say, 200 meters. Or you can offset it if you haven't already clicked and dragged. We will exit this, and the next thing we are going to do is to create a flat base, because as we can see, it is simply clicked and dragged the topography down, so we have an uneven surface at the base. In order to do this, we are going to scroll down and click Make Planar, and then we're going to select to make the Z axis planar, as this is the bottom of the terrain. And there we have it. We have created a sturdy, topographically accurate base for our base model. Thank you for watching this how-to video. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to create clean, figure ground polygons so that we can eventually add some buildings to this base model. Until next time, bye!